messing up feng shui of my living room.
I know. But I'm getting so sick of my keyboard and my mouse tripping out and costing me precious seconds. Oh, hi guys. Sorry, welcome to the stream. I was just in the middle of fixing my chair. We're going to do a spotlight video on Dehaka today. I've got a couple friends with me. We have Zeklith, as we all know.
Hi, sorry.
She's a little sick today, so she probably won't be super loud. Oh, I still need to grab that box out of the way. Go ahead and press ready. We're good. Thanks. We have Brendan as well.
Hi, how's it going?
AKA, geez, what is your handle? I just see your name now. I don't even remember.
Cavalier.
There you go. And he's on my chair league team, the currently known as placeholder name. Like the Nerf bat selection. I thought that was pretty good. Yours wasn't bad either. It worked good.
Can you move your mic or something, or quit breathing heavily, please?
What?
You're breathing really heavily.
Okay. I'll adjust things. That should work. Okay. Yeah, it's a little hard to breathe right now. So we're gonna be running Dehaka today on a spotlight. Should be queuing for a game any second here, and we'll go. There we go. It's like I'm psychic. Pretty good. An Infernal Shrine should give us quite a bit of an advantage here with the split soak.
Yeah,
ganking potential could be really, really good here too as well.
that is true. I was just thinking, with this map, if we win a shrine, you and I can instantly jump out of lane.
Yep.
They cute as that group.
Yeah. It's really squishy. Should give Vanubarak and me plenty of playtime actually in the backline. Nova will be a bit of a problem though. For us, because we don't really have a whole lot of ways to reveal. Oh right, we have Brightwing. Brightwing can take a reveal on your Z at level 4. You don't have to take it, it just will be beneficial against Nova.
Might help.
If you don't feel like getting sniped by Nova, it might be a smart idea.
I love being sniped by.
So, Dehaka's a global hero. He does not have a mount. He gets run the map by Zing to all the bushes. There you go. It's Brendan taking a heads-up approach and making sure people kind of understand how the game plan goes. So we'll soak the opposite lanes while the rest of the team pushes. And Lunar seems to understand. So instead of running out into the lane, I'm just going to hang out right here and see which lane I want to reinforce. Probably going to be mid lane if they get a strong push. In the process, there we are. Oh, I missed it. So, don't miss those.
This is tough.
So we're just going to kind of push in the lane here until my ZT key comes back up. Gonna try to peel for Brightwing, but that was really well placed. And there I go again, completely missing my ability. And Anubarak went down. Nothing I could do about that. Just a ton of damage they were able to dish right there at the beginning. And basically I'm going to take Enduring Swarm because of that reason. We have tons of ability damage that they're going to be dropping on our heads here. So I'm just going to zap to the bot lane. Make sure that we're not losing any soak in this lane. It's pretty rough there, Chromie, Nova, and Arthas. Just gonna slowly waddle in and about in the lane. stun out Arthas so he can't get any effective work done on Lunara. Our trait is Collect Essence, or Essence Collection, I guess is the proper term. Each time you see me kill a minion here, I just kind of grab. Man, a new Brock went down again. Grab another Essence, which builds up here. This is kind of one of my best ways to sustain in a fight. So we're gonna Z up here because it looks like we're gonna try to engage in on this. R down a hero. And that's definitely a decoy. Falstad is gonna poke in here. I'm gonna support him by making sure I get in their faces and sustain as well. Got a stun on Karazim, but didn't do much. Arthas is gonna try to pressure play. I'm going to try to avoid any unnecessary damage by using my burrow. So my E key there, as you saw, is burrow. It allows me to basically absorb any really nasty burst damage coming on my head if I'm heads up about it. Falstad got picked out. We're gonna have to be a little careful here now, because we're down heroes. We should probably back out, and I'm gonna try to avoid dying there to the snipe. Okay, so she's gonna get the snipe combo on me. There's not much I could do about that. So Burrow can grant me stealth, which can help get away once I basically go silent. They can't see me. Numbing Erection knocks back enemies and slows move speed, which can help me in that type of situation right there. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I can also go for more Essence Collection, but honestly I don't feel like it's all that necessary. We should be able to get back in here and do some good damage. Arthas should be going down with that Falstad coming in. And that should allow us to be able to... Oops, why did I do that? Pretty comfortably clean up the rest of the shrine. Now they could still poke in for some damage. Tracer there is getting really cocky.
I'll have to tell the Dryad about this.
And Nova, it looks like she's gonna die. But they still might get this. They only need one more, but it looks like we're gonna get it. Very, very close. We have a Karazim getting a little cocky as well. I'm gonna pressure him out of lane. My Q key is a lick. It grabs the heroes and stuns them just like that. It can help secure kills for your team, which is what makes Dehaka dangerous. We can actually zap out of lane, which is what I'm gonna go do. And the rest of the team can push. They apparently copied us, but then didn't copy. So we're gonna go ahead and just kind of harass this lane. We can do that because I have stacks 50 here. This is what really gives me some crazy sustain here. I can pretty much get down to really, really low life at this point, and I can heal it all back up. And you usually want to combo this with your E ability, which allows you to go... Oh, Lunar is in trouble. I'm gonna make sure. So there is increased drag duration, or we can basic attacks reduces drag cooldown. Being able to keep it up is a pretty good idea. Dark Swarm also reducing its cooldown is pretty good. Also gather regen globes to gain essence. I can go into that because I kind of gave it up on the level 4 ability, but I'm actually gonna go for the basic attacks reduces cooldown. Now I gotta watch out for a Nova gank because I'm certain that it is on its way.
Nova's top.
No, they're just going to try to gank me there, which really isn't going to work out because I can just do this. And I'm going to heal everything back up.
Nova's still top, just so you know.
And I was able to grab Karazim. Can we get a kill? No, it doesn't look like it. Now Arth should be able to bully me out. I cannot fight him 1v1. I can stun him out and maybe get a bit of damage to even it up. If you want, it doesn't really matter. I've got Chromie though trying to pick me off there a little bit. Yeah, it looks like that's what's going to happen. He's going to try to go for Howling Blast. If he did, what I would do is burrow in that situation. I'm dead. Oh, nope, I'm alive still somehow. And Chromie died for that arrogance. So as you can see, I can pretty much do what Muradin does, which is just retreat, and I can just come back in and sustain. The trick though is that I have to stay. I gotta land those. That I have to actively Yeah, Tracer not understanding how absolutely deadly Lunara can be to her, costing her death there. Oh, and we have a Nova coming in and dealing with our Lunara quite quickly there, so we're gonna try to make sure that she's not dinking around out here. And that should secure us a bit. Let's get that Chromie. Oh, she dishes it. Good idea. So I saw Chromie drop her ult there. She actually has access to her ult level 9. We have adaptation and isolation. Isolation is going to help us deal with a lot of these guys really easily. If you can land it, which I really need to start doing. Okay, so that's a very good...
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a burrow out of there, and we're going to try to peel him. That should be a dead Arthas. And Icebound Fortitude will keep him alive, but Karazhan is in a horrible position. We're going to deal with this Tracer quite easily. She will just take out... Don't go that way, Lunara, yet. We have Chromie. But we're pretty low on mana. Yep.
Yeah.
So my W ability, if you haven't already noticed, helps me clean waves really quickly. It says Dark Swarm. Also, as you saw me talent into it before, it allows me to heal myself. We should be able to secure that. I'm going to be out for the time being. Now, keep in mind, even with being behind a wall here, Nova can be really sneaky and try to get kills that way. But she's just, again, always be aware of where she's at on the minimap. I think we took Nature's Presence, or whatever it's called, actually, which is quite a huge talent to deal with Nova whenever she gets into a fight, because Lunara can pretty much just identify wherever she is. I'm going to try to help pressure down this. Slowing Sands. Punisher got a lot of damage on them, which is allowing me to live through most of this. I'm not going to get the kill. Thanks, Brightwing. You probably didn't really need to come down here, but thanks.
I was already down here.
Okay, and then we've got no one up top, so...
I'm on the way.
Okay.
I had to pull back.
Let's definitely just go for these. That's a good idea. So Isolation is going to hit an enemy, deal a bunch of damage, silence them, slow them, and reduce their vision.
I got Nova ganked. Sorry.
That's fine. She's doing her job. That's what Nova does. But we are losing out Soak in the top lane, so I'm going to go quickly deal with that. Wow.
Oof.
That I wasn't expecting. We didn't mess up much of the wave, but I gave him a free kill, which I'm not too happy about. We're gonna help out mid lane a bit here. Take up those towers, we'll force them out. They aren't even talents though, which is going to make the fight a little bit less in our immediate favor. But we're still maintaining a pretty much full level lead. Slowing Sands, definitely getting quite a bit of work done there. That's a dead Karazhan. That's a dead Arthas. we should be able to re-engage back in on this. Sorry, Karazin. We need to be careful. They're gonna re-engage on us. We have Lunara to deal with here. Dude, get out of there.
Something was slowing me by a lot. I don't know what it was.
That should be a couple dead both Nova and... Yeah, alright. We should be able to take the rest of this by dealing with this Chromie.
Sticky bomb slows. Pinning shot has 2 charges.
Can we kill Arthas, please? Alright. Not much I can do there. Losing out, yeah. Yeah, Arthas should be dead. Go kill the Karazim. That's another shrine for us. There's really not much they can do about it. Diving too far, too far. No, Nova! Nice gust. Absolutely clutch.
What? Ah!
Should be dead Nova. Gonna try to deal with this Karazin. And there you go. So as you saw, isolation really takes them out of the fight. We look out right wing, we have an Arthas that might try to flank us. So we can increase the slow, which will help them keep them from escaping from us, or I can take the burrow to heal me, which can be very useful as well in sustain. I'm gonna take the slow. The range is also good to make sure that you can hit those things. You know, maybe I'm gonna take that instead. Oh jeez, too slow. Not sure what the goal there was. I'll grab Tracer, she's a dead Tracer. Letting me get a stun on her was not very smart. So, Tracer can be really tough if she kites you about, but if you catch her in that lick, it's pretty much game over. And they'll siege at us with Chromie and Nova over the wall, so we just gotta be a little careful. Just a tad careful. Make sure that we get some good pressure. Pressure's pushing in far. Let's back up. Let's just move. Please listen. So, camps. Sure. And so there you go. The power of Dehaka is his ability to get around the meta of the map. His chasing potential is not very good, as you guys can definitely see. I can pretty much get outrun by most assassins that have any quickness. Okay, what the heck's happening?
Karazim beat me down a little bit, and then Nova came in with pinning shots.
Yeah, okay. Were you alone in doing that camp?
Yeah. Yeah, I was a little overextended. I wasn't by the camp. I was just taking out walls over here for vision.
And that's a dead Lunara, and that's a dead Arthas. And that Chromie shouldn't get far. Oh, I couldn't quite get her, but of course.
Oh, she's cocooned.
Brock and Lunara make sure that there's no way she's getting out of this. Lunara should definitely have that. It's no problem. Pretty good of Chromie to try to go back through those slowing sands. If we were dumb, that would totally work. or in a small passageway. So. Typically, we like the Apex Predator here because it gives me really fast global presence. It's just like taking Epic Mount on Falstad. Your ability to reinforce any lane is pretty much uncontested at this point. We'll just take these keep walls. Look at that. Hi, Falstad. And so we
Both
just
had the same idea,
yeah.
I guess.
We're like, okay, camp winning in the mid lane. Dude, we have globals. We will be there, don't worry. We'll be there first.
They're already there.
That's fine. Just gonna wait. Cannot quite lock down the range there. But Anubarak being Anubarak is able to collapse on him well. That's a dead Charism. And that should lead to disengage from the enemy team, which should lead to us cleaning things up. If you just stay near Brightwing, you'll get healed. If she can spare a blink heal whenever she's got some mana. Gotta cool down. There you go.
I went auto attack, so I've got plenty of healing myself.
Oh, you did take the self heal
Yeah.
at level
I
4.
figured I'd be jumping around the map without her, so.
Yep. So remember, Brightwing is like perfect because she can global to you as well. So as long as she sees you in trouble, it's like Brightwing can show up, and then you're not in so much trouble anymore.
Yeah, I just try to. We don't need to soak anymore. I kind of have the tendency that if I can take myself out of who needs to be healed, I'll try to.
Yeah.
I'll let somebody else get healed.
Yeah, that's pretty much like, okay, so you can do some pretty good damage from afar there, Nova, but I'm not sure if that's really going to do you much good.
So Nexus Frenzy with the new season Marksman and Secret Weapon, that's good. It's real good.
Yep. So they've taken a lot of deaths here, though the Punisher's pretty low, so I'm not entirely sure if we're really going to get much farther out of this. Not without risking some deaths, but we can try. Looks like Anubarak is convinced he's gonna, but we can try attacking the core. Frankly, even if we lose this, it's not like they can really punish us for dying here. I think we can probably just do what we're doing. Just take the core down. That's a dead core. There's nothing. Good game. That's the power of those, well, it wasn't that close. It was just close that we didn't quite get it. But at 2%, we just walk back in as 5 and pretty much guarantee gonna get it.
Or just fly back in when they're not paying attention.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. 270 XP away from level 10. 70.
Nice. Well, there you go, guys. That's a spotlight on Dehaka, as you can see. Died a fair few times, but it wasn't too bad. Got some pretty even board here score. He's pretty good on the damage from a warrior overall. Just because that W ability is his can do some, and that isolation is pretty good damage as well. So then when you have global presence like that, our experience so stays pretty strong. Actually, all the heroes are pretty good at making sure they were in lane. And we took Enduring Swarm, Numbing Eruption, Feeding Frenzy, Isolation, Whirling Dervish, and Elongated Tongue, and Apex Predator. Enduring Swarm was the ability reduction, so I just used W to negate some of the damage I was taking from the high ability damage dealers like Chromie and Nova. Numbing Eruption made sure that they could, if they came close to me on a chase, they would get knocked back when I'd use the Eruption to kind of get away. Feeding Frenzy to reduce the drag cooldown so that I could keep spamming that out, making it a threat at all times. Isolation, because it's a really strong ult for taking out heroes in the combat, which made it really easy for us to collapse on the other heroes because they didn't have to worry about it. You saw Nubrak using Cocoon to do the same thing, and then Isolation basically makes it so that they can't really fight at full effectiveness. Increase the drag range by 20%. I was trying to just make sure I could try to secure a bit more of those drags because they're really tough on heroes like Tracer and Nova to land. So sometimes you can, that little extra bit of range can give you some help. It's still really hard, so there's probably better talent you could take at that tier. And then Apex Predator for the speed on the global presence, like Epic Mount, makes it so you can respond to pretty much any threat in any lane at a dime. And you very much can just jump there, deal with it, and jump back by the time your cooldown is up. So it's very, very, very strong. As we went over at the beginning, drag is our lick. It's got a bit of a delay. Cast out does a bit of damage and stuns the enemy for 1.75 seconds, which is a pretty substantial stun. A 2-second stun is pretty much death to anybody that gets hit by that if your team is on point and able to deal the damage. Also, you hit Dark Swarm and Drag, then people basically get stuck taking damage on top of the damage you hit them with the Drag ability while you pull them back into your team. Burrow to give you some more sustain. So if you see those big abilities coming out, I wasn't doing this very well, but in timing. But if you can time it right, you can negate things like that big ultimate from Nova, or get out of certain ultimates that can really cause you damage. Mainly the major damage ones like Hinterland Blast or Precision Strike. As we talked about, Essence Collection is the base kit of Dehaka, so you gain 10 essence from every minion, or from takedowns, and 2 essence from any nearby minions. 2 essence to get to 50 from minions is really easy to do, especially with Dehaka, who can just zap around the map and just pick up experience from every lane. So just alternate between top and bottom if you really want to, and you should be able to pick it up. But if you just stay in lane, make sure you're soaking that up. Your sustain stays actually really strong. Maybe not as reliable as Murd and Stone form, but keep in mind that Murden has to wait till level 16 to get that type of sustain. Otherwise, his sustain is, okay, you pop out of lane and then he slowly heals on top of his regular stuff. So in my opinion, Dehaka actually just needs to jump out of the fight, go collect basically essence, and he can jump right back into a fight after his cooldown. That's 30 seconds that he's out, but he can come back full force. So especially on maps like Infernal Shrines where you have to leave and come back and re-engage, he's just got fantastic sustain for fights like that. You will see him prioritized sometimes in the pros for that exact reason, that he can definitely counter global presence by enemies like Falstad and works well with those types of heroes. As I talked about, isolation is really good to make sure that you can secure kills by hitting them with this. They can't run, they take damage, they're slow, they can't see. It's really rough on them to be able to do anything substantial. Illidan, Karazim, Tracer, anybody hit by this, or Nova, they're screwed. Like, they cannot live through that in most cases, because they're often out of position when they do. This is a good counter for Zeratul. If you ever see him pop up, you just hit him with isolation. He's pretty much screwed. Adaptation is after 5 seconds, heal for 6% of the damage. If you know you're about to take a crap ton of damage and you know their team is consistently trying to blow you up as Dehaka, take adaptation, because this can help make sure you don't die. A couple times would have been useful for me, but I didn't think with a new Barak I was going to be the only major target, so I figured that I would, and especially they were going to go for the squishies more than me. So since they're not focusing on blowing me up specifically, isolation most of the time is probably the ideal ultimate to take. Adaptation only really in those situations where you believe the enemy team is going to be dumping a lot of their cooldowns and trying to kill you, then you take adaptations so that you can more easily sustain through those fights. Again, as the talent progressions go, cool thing about Dehaka is he's got a pretty strong kit. And his talents all give you different ways to approach it. Enhanced agility is really nice quest because that really gets his movement speed up, so he becomes a lot better at chasing. Or even tissue regeneration, which makes his already substantial sustain even better. But of course, if you're taking a lot of ability damage from heroes like Nova and Chromie and the same bites where you know all that burst damage coming down on you, during Swarm can help make sure that you stay alive in those situations a lot better than just the regeneration. Regeneration is good on sustain. Primal Aggression, like really good at clearing lanes. So this is actually a really good option to take at level 1, because if your goal is to continually farm lanes to get sustain, you only have to do it now a couple of times. You can just zap out, hit a lane, get almost all of your stacks you need of like killing 2 lanes. It's really easy to do, and especially when you're pushing lanes and killing minions in the process, you'll just get ridiculous sustain at it. Probably one of the strongest talents you can take. Lurker Strain, stealth, again, good for hiding. If you know that you can burrow and you're gonna be like, if you like go into an area, burrow, and they go to check for you, they don't see you, and then you're stealth, and then you pop out on them, you can really get them. But I think that's like the only usage for that talent. Number your options, good for the knockback. If you know they're diving on you, they're gonna stay in close quarters. It was probably a bad choice for me to take that. One who collects increases essences from minions. As I mentioned before, you take the primal aggression with this one who collects, and your ability to farm minion lanes will be ridiculous, and you'll be able to sustain like nuts. And then the last one is Hero Stalker. If you think you're getting a lot of kills, 150% increase on your takedowns essence collection can be also very, very good. But, you know, you never really know. You're going to be killing lots of heroes, or you're not going to be killing lots of heroes. It's one of the two. Going to 7, Feeding Frenzy is basic attack reduction. That's what I took. Being able to spam that out consistently is always a threat. Constriction increases the duration to a 2.25 second stun, which is ridiculous. That is a really, really long stun. Even heroes like Arthas or Stitches, who can take basically relentless talents, will fear this talent because it just makes even those abilities kind of less effective. Symbiosis reduces Dark Swarm cooldown when you hit heroes. This can be very helpful if you're always in team fights. So Towers of Doom, Infernal Shrines, Tomb of the Spider Queen, everything where you know you're going to be fighting over objectives all the time. Symbiosis can really make sure you can spam at that Dark Swarm, especially if you took the ability reduction in the beginning. That can really help you mitigate damage from those, and probably in this situation was the better choice for me to take. Essence Devourer, if you just really want to stack on that ability to pick up Essence and just spam that ability all the time, you take Essence Devourer, which will help you basically be able to do that. Isolation, as I already talked about, probably the better of the two abilities. We already explained those in a bit of detail when going over the abilities. Swift Pursuit increases movement speed in the bushes. This can be useful. I think if you take the quest of Enhanced Agility and that, like, you become like this weird monster creature that no one can shake and run away from, who's got stuns, damage, and slows. I mean, like, very frightening. Ferocious Stalker, that's what that increased movement speed overall, right? Okay, so Brush Stalker increases your speed by 60%. Like, you just come out of those bushes like running, man. And then if you run through bushes, your chasing ability is a lot faster. So anything that's got a lot of vents and bushes, maybe Swift Pursuit. That seems like a weak talent. But what I usually take is Whirling Dervish, which reduces, because Dehaka, while he has a good stun, is also susceptible to stuns, because he needs his ability spam to be able to avoid damage. Whirling Dervish is basically relentless. It allows you to reduce your root silences, stuns, and slows by 50%. And I would say in almost every case is this probably the most ideal talent for you to take. It's not very negotiable at 13, but I guess you could be quite frightening with that Brush Stalker. It's just roaring out of those things coming at people. They just can't run away. Pretty good. As I talked about when we were picking it, paralyzing enzymes gives you slow, 50% for 2 seconds after the drag ends. So just making that ridiculously long stun even worse. That one's even better. Increased range if you feel like you need it to land those. This is ideal. This is the same thing as like taking fishing hook on Stitches. If you take the fishing hook, it gives you just that much better option or ability to snag those heroes in and secure those kills. And Burrow heals you. Obviously, self-explanatory. If you feel like you're taking lots of damage and your other abilities and sustain are not good enough, then Rapid Regeneration is probably the ability for you. And you can use it that way. Contagion Isolation hits all heroes near the first target. If you are seeing groups of enemies group up together, this can be a very devastating ultimate and can really make a team hate you, like absolutely hate you. Nothing worse than getting hit by bubble by isolation. I think it's like the worst ability to feel like you just lose all hope when you get hit by that thing. No, and hitting the whole team at one time with that could be absolutely ridiculous. Increasing the healing to 125% can make him ridiculous. It's just level 20 though. I mean, yeah, I just don't know if that's really the best option to take. Hardened Shield's way better at mitigating a bunch of damage. You can take 75% for 4 seconds if you're going to take something for Uber Sustain. And Apex Predator obviously just gives you that global presence that's ridiculous. And it makes Dehaka an absolute horrible threat in late game when you're on larger maps. If you're not on a larger map and you take isolation, that contagion can be a really good talent. And I would probably look at that. Or if you feel like you're not going to get a lot of value out of the global presence of Dehaka because you got a QM that took you into Battlefield of Eternity or something like that, I don't know, then Hardened Shield is probably the better choice. And that's it. That is the breakdown on Dehaka you guys saw him play. We ran it with 3 globals, which is probably just completely unfair. So we're going to probably keep playing a few more matches as we go along, but this is going to be the end of the video for tonight. Thanks for all for watching. Please subscribe. Say bye, everybody.